You've probably heard the word blockchain tossed around everywhere, right? But what is it actually all about? Well, it all kicks off with this really simple but kind of tricky puzzle right at the heart of our digital world. So let's dive in and figure this thing out together.
Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about the big problem, the central mystery the blockchain was even invented to solve. I want you to think about this for a second. A photo, a song, really any digital file, you can copy it a million times, right? And every single copy is perfect. So how in the world can you make something digital, like digital cash, unique? How do you stop somebody from just copying and pasting it and spending it over and over again?
Let's break it down like this. Imagine I have a real physical teddy bear. If I give that bear to you, well, it's yours now. I don't have it anymore. Super simple. But what if I have a picture of that bear on my phone? I can text it to you, email it to my friend, post it online, all at the exact same time. And every single copy is identical. That, my friends, is what the pros call the double spending problem. And it was the huge, massive wall that stopped digital money from being a thing, until blockchain came along.
So, you've got this massive problem. How on earth do you solve it? Well, the solution is, it's actually beautiful in its simplicity. And it all starts with an idea we can all totally get: a shared notebook.
All right, here's where we completely flip the old way of doing things on its head. Think about how a bank works, right? They have the one official record book, the ledger. They're the boss. They're in control. But with blockchain, forget that. What if everyone in the group gets an identical, perfect copy of that very same book? Yeah, that changes everything. Suddenly, it's not a system with one person in charge anymore. It's a system built on teamwork, where everyone has the same information.
Okay, so let's walk through what a trade actually looks like. Let's say I want to give you one of my digital coins. Step 1, I shout it out to the entire group. Hey everyone, I'm giving one coin over to this person. Step 2, everyone in the group pulls out their shared notebook and jots it down on a fresh page. And step 3, and this is the absolute key, everyone holds up their notebook to make sure every single page matches up perfectly. If it's all good, if everyone's book says the same thing, boom, the transaction is locked in, it's official.
And that, what we just described, that's decentralization. I know, it's a big, clunky word, but all it really means is that we're all working together. There's no single boss, we keep each other honest. If I tried to be sneaky and give that same coin to someone else, the whole group would just look at their notebooks and go, no way, our records show you already spent that. See? The team itself is what keeps the whole system fair and square.
Okay, that's cool. So we have this shared notebook, and everyone agrees on what's in it. But that brings up another question, right? What's to stop me from sneaking back to page 5 and, erasing something and writing in something new? How do we protect the past? Well, this is where the real security magic comes into play. So get this, every single page of our notebook, in the real world they call this a block, it gets its own unique digital fingerprint. And this fingerprint is called a hash, but it's not like a regular fingerprint. It's kind of magic. If you change one tiny little thing on that page, even just a comma or a single letter, the entire fingerprint changes completely. It becomes a totally different thing. It's that sensitive.
And here is where the chain part of blockchain finally makes sense. Each new page, each new block, doesn't just list the new transactions. It does something else that is absolutely crucial. It includes a copy of the magic fingerprint from the page that came right before it.
Think of it like all the pages are holding hands in a long line. Each page is holding the fingerprint of the page before it. Now, imagine a cheater tries to go back and secretly change an old page. What happens? Well, its fingerprint instantly changes. And that new fingerprint won't match the one that the next page is holding onto. The handhold breaks, the chain literally shatters right there for everyone to see. And the whole network immediately knows something is wrong. That's why the records are basically permanent. They're tamper-proof.
All right, so the chain is super secure, but how does the group decide whose new page gets added next? I mean, with thousands of people, how do they all agree on the rules of the game if there's no referee calling the shots?
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Picture a game of pickup football at the park when you were a kid. There's no ref, right? But the game still works. How? Because everyone knows the rules, and more importantly, everyone is keeping the score in their own head. If someone yells, "That was a goal," the whole group instantly chimes in, "Yeah, it was," or "No way." That shared scoreboard in everyone's head, that's the ledger. And that whole process of everyone agreeing, that's called consensus. It's just the rule book that the whole network agrees to follow to check new transactions and add new pages to the notebook. It's the digital version of all the players on the field nodding and agreeing, yep, the score is now 3-2. It's how the shared notebook stays correct for everyone by everyone.
So let's recap. We've got a decentralized, super secure notebook that a whole community agrees on. It's an amazing invention, really. But here's the thing. This isn't just some clever idea on a whiteboard anymore. This technology is now the engine behind a multi-trillion-dollar global industry.
Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're dealing with here, the global market for cryptocurrencies, all of them built on this blockchain idea, was recently valued at over $3 trillion. I mean, let that sink in. 3 trillion. To put that into perspective, that's bigger than the entire economy of most countries on Earth. This has grown way, way beyond just being some niche digital toy.
And inside that massive market, you've got the heavy hitters. Bitcoin, of course, was the OG, the one that started it all. Then came Ethereum, which was a total game changer because it let people run programs. They call them smart contracts, right on the blockchain. And from there, the whole thing just exploded. Now you've got names you've probably heard of, like XRP, Solana, and even Dogecoin, which, yeah, famously started as a joke, but is now worth billions.
But, and this is maybe the most important takeaway of all, the real revolution here isn't really about digital money. It's about the tech underneath it all. This exact same system of a shared, secure notebook can be used for so much more. Think about tracking food from the farm all the way to your dinner plate to ensure it's safe, or creating healthcare records that you actually own and control, or managing your digital identity online, or even building fair, more transparent voting systems.
So, why does any of this matter? What's the bottom line? It's this. At its very core, blockchain is a brand new way to create trust in a digital world. Instead of having to trust a bank or a government or some giant tech company to be honest and play fair, you're trusting a transparent, verifiable system that's run by all of its users. It's a really fundamental shift in how we think about trust.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of huge question to chew on. In a world where so much of our lives are digital, what happens when we no longer need to trust people or institutions, but can instead just trust the system itself? What new possibilities does that unlock for us? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks so much for tuning in.